Blessings and welcome. So, the inspiration from Source came in to start this series of videos discussing the secrets of spiritual success and the marvelous teachings that have transformed my life over the years, and that I am now living in a shifted state of consciousness and experiencing them, taking this fertile root and bringing me an inwardly sourced happiness in my life and realizing this abundance of the universe. And I think a good place to start is with desire. The root of the word desire means given by the Father, etymologically. And the Father is our consciousness, right? So if you think of like a man and a woman coming together, he impregnates the woman with the seed in the womb, right? There's a womb of creation. And that is like the mother or the void, the womb, in which the consciousness, the father, is received by the mother, the emotion, right? So you can see this is related to ancient teachings. And there are a lot of metaphors that are encoded in these teachings, because when the desire, which is given by the Father, given by consciousness, meaning desire is seen as God-given, as the desire to create something is received by source or received by the fertile soil or the womb, right? That desire then grows into a child. And that child is the manifestation or the creation. So this is kind of like another creation story, right? Like in the beginning. And it's also in the now. This is an in the now creation story that has completely transformed my life, because this is creation, evolutionary creation living now. So if you're familiar with, in the Bible, they said in Genesis, in the beginning was the Word. And the Word was with God, and God was the Word. Now, the Word is the idea. And when the Word is made flesh, the idea is given form. And that happens through none other than the fertile soil of your imagination, the womb of creation. Everything starts first as an idea. Napoleon Hill knew this, and he talked about faith as the elixir of life. See, he discovered that through all these people of great success, that they shared one thing. They believed in a vision before it had happened. They believed in an unseen reality, a possibility, so firmly with faith that they brought the idea through the consciousness into the emotion of the elixir of life, which is faith. And that faith is belief. Belief creates reality. Beliefs are thoughts of habitual thought. And every thought has a vibrational equivalent or desire. So when the seed is planted, the seed has a vibrational equivalent to its fruition or its fruit. And one of the secrets lies in how you tend this garden of your imagination. Because when you realize that when it is asked, it is given, right? Classic Abraham. That through the contrast of your life, you ask for things to be different because you notice what you don't like and you notice what you do. That seed of desire has its equivalent. Like, think of how an acorn knows how to be an oak tree. You know, a spinach seed knows how to be a spinach. The farmer doesn't plant the seed and then be like super, "Whoa," or angry because the seed hasn't sprouted in a day, because they understand that the seed takes time. So this understanding this process of creation as it lives within our lives, right? And that things take natural course for them to be created. So when you realize that the fertile soil is none other than your imagination, when you are tending to your desires with faith, you are watering the seed in the garden. And maybe there's some weeds of some negative thought patterns, some shadow where the light wants to enter, places where we've held ourselves back. But you can't make any things stop by trying to force it. Hence surrender and letting go. Because when you let go and you focus on watering that seed, then the water of your faith or your attention, your belief is now going on that seed, and it's no longer watering the weeds of negativity, the weeds of complaining, the weeds of hatred and condemnation and criticism. And this is where like the challenge is, like, a lot of people, yeah, it makes sense that a lot of people become excited when you first realize that you're the creator of your own reality. But then when you get to because of the infinite possibilities, but when you get to the actual responsibility of the fact that you're the creator of your reality, there's a bit more to it. You're like, whoa, I created that. That's a child of the seed of my consciousness placed in the fertile soil of imagination. I created that. And so finding that love for all aspects of ourself and our experience is the ultimate transmutation, right? Because that's turning water into wine. Water, the water into wine metaphor, right, is referring to the water as everything that you're given when you're born, every struggle, every strife, everything that you're given, everything in your life, from the point of choosing your parents to the point of going to school to the point of all the things you don't like, all the things you do, right? That's the water. The water fits in any container. The water is the contents of your current life. And when you turn water into wine, and wine representing the desire, the fulfillment, the dream, the magical new life. You turn the water into wine. That's transmutation. Transmutation is understanding where you're at within the vibrational scale, which goes all the way from the pits of despair to the heights of enlightenment. There is no one-size shoe fits all for modalities that work with your consciousness, because you're at a different point in the scale. I believe that there are different stages of awakening our consciousness to our eternal nature. So depending on where you're at the scale, remembering that every modality, whether it be forgiveness, whether it be a form of healing, of natural healing, whatever it may be, meditation, integration, that the modality is secondary to awareness, because all transformation happens through awareness. Awareness is the medium. Awareness is the conduit. So when we realize that we are extensions of source energy, and that source, could call it God or the universe, is actually living, is alive. This is a living story happening now. Creation is happening now, and we are extensions of source. And so when we sync up with that, could say your higher self, or just your greatest version, or your big shebang, I mean, whatever you want to call it, when you sync up with that, you become an emanation, right? You become the child, the father of your consciousness and the mother of your emotion and imagination. See, here's the secret of the great religions. They're not historical accounts. They're alchemical instruction manuals. See, if you were to see the character Jesus and whatever your relationship with Jesus is, who's amazing master. But if you were to view Jesus as the child of God, the Son of God, right, who said that I and the Father are one, he also said, "You shall do greater works than these." And I believe that Jesus actually represents the world's soul, or actually our imagination. And that when you become a child of God, that it's actually talking about this process of resurrection. That there is a death of the old self, and then there is a rebirth or a resurrection of the new self. And this is what it's meant by you are made in the likeness and the image of God, your imagination, right? Everything that happens in your life is actually a creation of your imagination, right? Your outside is the inside pushed out, as within, so without. This goes all the way back to the Hermetica. And many beings have experienced alignment with Source over the ages. So there are different phrases that were given at the times. Nowadays it's called law of attraction. So when you realize that you are actually the child of God, you realize that you are being reborn into the new image of your own imagination. So you actually become the creator of yourself. And you realize that your external reality, this 3D hologram, this projection of our inner world, is that you seek to turn within to the inner cave of wisdom and to transform yourself. And you realize that the mansions of God, right, are actually states of consciousness, and that all parallel realities exist here in the quantum field. It's all one and at the same time separate, because within that, okay, here's how this relates to creation. So in the beginning, there was nothing, and then there was something. Then those things merged together and created the universe, the child, the spark of creation itself. Because pure oneness, pure consciousness, you could call that God or the universe or whatever you want to call it, existed in a permanent state of non-duality until creation exists. There has to be an other for there to be another, if that makes any sense. I'm sure it does. So it's all connected, it's all one, it's all interwoven, and at the same time separate, and at the same time not. So it kind of seems paradoxical. And yet in that distinction of duality, of one becoming two, right, there is a point of that singularity now having a mirror of reality to interface with itself with as another. And within that relationship, that reflection, remembering that this is a creation story that is about us. So through that, there is polarity. There is magnetism. There is that's what sexual energy is. That's what creative energy, magnetism, polarity. And when those polarities come together, you get another creation. And so it's like a big bang over and over and over and over and over and over again. And so when you become conscious of the process of creation, and you become one with the Father as your state of consciousness, and you realize that as you merge with the fertile soil of your imagination or your subconscious, that it will faithfully produce whatever image is given. Imagination. So when you become remade in the likeness and the image of imagination, you are taking on the garb of a new self identity, a new self image. And inside of that is the process of visualization or receiving the vision. And this starts streaming in. And as you understand that you've asked and it's given, and now the seed has the vibrational equivalent. Again, the seed knows how to be the tree. So now you're looking to the tree and you're saying that you are claiming your oneness with the wish fulfilled, with the end result, with your happily ever after, with this dream reality, right? And to move to the parallel reality where that exists, you embody that version of yourself. And the way that you do that is you understand that it is already done. All potentials already exist here in the field. And by the sense of your imagination that you're even able to receive them means they already have been created. It's already done. And so when you assume that state of consciousness, this is the assumption of it as true through the power of belief, right? And if you were to, many of you already know this, but if you were to look into the teachings that I'm referring to, you would see they all point at the same thing. And when you assume the state of consciousness and you water it with the faith and you feel it as already so, then you start telling the new creation story from that state of consciousness and you speak it into existence. But before you can find the words, you have to think the thought. And where does the thought come from? Where do all ideas come from? They come from source. Everything first starts as an idea. So whether it was Einstein or Jesus Christ, they were all accessing the same source, right? There are many streams. Or it was Napoleon Hill or Abraham Hicks or Joshua or you. We can all access this. And that is the zone of genius, though it's less like a zone and it's more like a path. And that people who live more permanently in that, you call enlightened. You could replace that word with alignment and you could start living your life. You could set the intention to start living your life in alignment right now. And your entire life changes. It's incredible, right? Because it's metaphysical. At the base, you realize the nature of causality. That's what I'm pointing out with this whole seed thing that I've been on about. It's about causality. And you realize you are one with the consciousness, that the causality actually exists within you. So if you change the causality, you change the effect, which is your external reality. You change the synchronicities. I was on about synchronicity so much, but now I'm more on about attraction, because synchronicities are the evidence of the law of the universe, of which is attracting based on your state of a consciousness. So when you change your state of consciousness and you assume it is already so, you start speaking of the story that you wish to be as if it's already happened. So look, you reach out into the future, into the infinite field of possibilities. You find resonance with the desire, of which you start receiving a vision, which comes through your imagination. And then you claim the future as if it's already happened in the past, here in the present. So there's a possibility in the future in your imagination, you claim it as already happened in the now. And this is a process, right, that I found that meditation, because it's so much easier to stop thinking thoughts in meditation when you find the gap between them and you pay attention to your breath, which is there from the moment you're born to you die, that there's a ceasing of thought, and in that you access that field, that womb of creation. And if you're like really deep in it, you can open your third eye and you can see that there are these fractaline patterns where everything is connected by this web of light. And inside of that, all realities, all parallel realities exist. See, because you cannot see objectively. You can only see, you can imagine you're seeing things objectively, but how could you see objectively? If you're looking through a self, you're seeing subjectively. So love your subjective perspective because it is your subconscious. And as you shift your consciousness, your subjective reality changes. So the real power lays not in trying to change the world at large, it lies in changing yourself, which changes your world. Because you are the greatest thing you will ever create. You are the actual masterpiece. You are the happiness that you're looking for. You are the blessed one. You, within yourself, have the waters of emotion of the very thing that you're looking for and the fulfillment of the money, of the soulmate, of the dream career, of whatever it is that you want, of the new earth. That when you look within yourself for that image and find the happiness that you're looking for within yourself, then it can come when you release the attachment to it having to happen. You won't need a quantum leap because it's now, parallel realities. Now is your power. Now is your power. Now is the time. This is the time of great awakening. So thanks for tuning into this. I feel truly blessed to share this message with you. If you want to just take a deep breath with me, I would love that. And tap into the power of your imagination and believe in the dream you've been given. Give yourself permission to feel it like it's already happened. Peace, and we'll see you on the next one.